Yes Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance.
Very warm welcome to Yes Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance. I'm your host, Mugdha Kalra. The Indian economy has accelerated its journey towards reaching a $10 trillion pinnacle by 2030. As India strides towards its 2030 growth story, it is essential to acknowledge the multiple avenues that are contributing towards it. Whether it is our MSMEs, larger enterprises, advisories, or even startups, all of them have demonstrated relentless efforts in paving India's path towards a growing and resilient economy. Today's summit is not just a reflection of these efforts, but is also a platform to amplify the strategies and perspectives that can escalate India's journey to becoming a stronger economy. Today's conversations are going to be centered around the theme, turning aspirations into assets, how India's wealth can spark a new cycle of growth. As India's commercial capital, Mumbai has long been the place where individuals and businesses have made big strategic bets in the quest for economic growth. Its status as the nerve center of business development and wealth creation can be further reinforced as it hosts the first Growth Summit, bringing together the country's top policy makers, business leaders, and industry experts to discuss how country's capital resources can be mobilized to unlock new economic opportunities and fuel a new cycle of growth. Now, one of the strongest pillars for achieving India's economic prowess has been the banking sector. Yes Bank, one of the leading private sector banks, not only endorses this vision, but is also set to catalyze the process through its products, offerings, and technology-driven approach. To further deliberate on the bank's vision, we have with us a visionary leader with over 35 years of experience in the banking industry. Please join me in welcoming the turnaround specialist and the chief architect of Yes Bank of today, Mr. Prashant Kumar, MD and CEO, Yes Bank, for the opening address.
Very good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for converging here today at this Growth Summit 2024. This is the first of its kind initiative presented by Yes Bank along with CNBC-TV18. This summit is aimed at envisaging India's path to self-reliance and economic prosperity, bringing together the business leaders, the policy makers, experts, and the visionaries to explore how the key sectoral strengths and the regional business trends can be leveraged to accelerate our nation's economic progress towards $10 trillion economy. The inaugural Growth Summit that is centered around the theme of turning aspirations into assets and how India's wealth can spark a new cycle of growth. The global economic landscape is rather challenging, whereby the advanced economies are likely to slow in the months ahead, and the world economic order is besieged by geopolitical tensions, geofragmentation, and the climate changes. Given such challenges, it is imperative that we harness our domestic strength and reduce external reliance, thereby cushioning India from external headwinds. What is extremely heartening is that even amidst all these challenges, the Indian economy has emerged as an oasis of stability, confidence, and optimism. With business looking to establish their manufacturing bases outside of China, India is best placed to absorb a lot of the resultant opportunities that could arise from this shift. The expansion of the global capability centers in India across sectors, whether IT, autos, pharmaceuticals, energy. I would like to mention pharmaceutical as an example of how India is being looked at a destination beyond mere outsourcing purposes. While the Indian economy is set to hit the $5 trillion mark by the end of next financial year, the Honorable Prime Minister has galvanized us to aim for a $10 trillion economy by the end of the current decade. The government's stellar efforts to establish India as a global manufacturing and export hub is part of this grand vision. Transforming India from a services-dominated economy to one that is powering growth on the back of its domestic manufacturing prowess. Moreover, the large-scale infrastructure development witnessed over the last 10 years has really helped develop a very strong logistic framework, supporting domestic business in expanding both within and beyond Indian borders. The Indian government has outlined its long-term strategy focus in line with Honorable Prime Minister's vision of realizing a Viksit and Sashakt Bharat on the nation's 100 years of independence. This very bold and transformative agenda will be powered by innovation and collaborative efforts, uniting the country's youth, business leaders, and policymakers towards the goal of making India a developed and strong economy by 2047. This vision for a Viksit Bharat is that of an India where sustainable and inclusive economic development is the primary focus, supported by the world-class infrastructure and a policy framework that will unleash a wave of opportunities for all citizens and reasons to capitalize upon. The priorities will be given towards ensuring timely and sufficient financial support, the training and technology support to the country's burgeoning MSME sector, enabling them to grow exponentially. Moreover, facilitating resource-efficient economic growth and achieving energy security through green finances initiatives and next-generation reforms will be the central towards achieving a Sashakt Bharat. To realize this ambitious dream and make the most of India's Amrit Kal, the next 5 years will necessitate an unprecedented pace of development and capital investment, leveraging the trinity of demography, democracy, and diversity to effect the transformative change within the Indian economic system. Understandably, the government's efforts will need to be matched with a significant uptick in private investment, helping spur the job growth and supporting the scheme goals of Sabka Vikas and Sabka Vikas along with Sabka Prayas. And by 2030, India is projected to have the largest working age group, around 69% of its population. Now, to support this young population, productive credit growth is needed in critical areas such as housing, MSMEs, and infrastructure. Now, all the while facilitating inclusive growth to uplift those in lower income brackets and empowering them to harness their entrepreneurial skills. India's credit penetration, which is indicated by the credit GDP ratio, stand around 51 to 52%. Now, significantly, which is lower than compared to like Malaysia, which is 136%, and Brazil, around 70%. Moreover, the annual infrastructure financing gap is likely to remain at about 0.7% of GDP through 2035, which is more than twice the global average of 0.3%. The another important focus area will be the country's the startup ecosystem that has been bringing out the entrepreneurial capabilities of the Indian population. Indian startups have been revolutionizing the industries, reshaping markets, and they have been making their mark on the global stage. Now, these startups are not only creating revolutionary solutions, but they are also fueling the job growth. Hence, it makes economic sense to continue to build upon this strong startup ecosystem, including providing adequate financing for the same. New areas that would also need adequate support from the Indian financial system is the green energy sector. That in turn would actually enable the carbon intensive manufacturers to remodel their processes with more sustainable and cleaner energy sources. An investment of at least 2.44 trillion will be required over the next few years to expand the country's renewable energy capacity to 500 gigawatt by 2030. Now, raising such large amount of capital and providing timely funding support to green projects will be very critical to achieve this capacity target. The development of sufficient energy storage solution and carbon capture technologies, they will also have to be pursued to ensure a very comprehensive green transformation of the country's power sector. While the government has already started issuing sovereign green bonds to raise capital for public sector projects, private sector involvement and participation in India's climate financing efforts will need significant enhancement. Encouraging retail investors to participate in India's green energy transformation and channeling these funds into businesses that are contributing towards a green future will assume greater significance. Similarly, India's efforts towards transitioning to net zero carbon emission needs to be accompanied by holistic integration of environmental consideration into the financial decision-making process across the country's banking, the financial services and insurance, we called as a BFSI sector. Now, India's digital economy has also emerged as a very key contributor to the Indian economy. And Digital India program, which is launched by Government of India, to establish a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy, has really helped establishing a formidable domestic digital ecosystem. And that is now being envied by the rest of the world. This initiative has been credited with promoting digital transactions and fostering never seen before innovation in digital payment solutions. Now, by this way, we are establishing India as a world leader in the digital payments. India's digital economy can potentially grow to $1 trillion by 2025 itself, transforming the rural economy and empowering ordinary citizens with digital services. This could potentially bring India very close to achieving 100% financial inclusion and unlock economic opportunities for the previously unbanked and underserved segments of the Indian population. Government action will have to be complemented by the banking and financial services sector, accelerating the pace of digital adoption, innovating new digital payment tools, and launching personalized financial products that can fuel the aspiration of 140 crores Indians. The ongoing digital revolution could also fortify the Indian MSME sector. That is comprised of 6.34 crore MSMEs, with more than 99% of being them qualified as a micro enterprise. And to boost the domestic output and help MSMEs in exploiting their full potential, it is imperative to fulfill the sector's 25 trillion credit demand, improving their access to formal credit and expanding the net of financial services, provided they are the key actions that need to be pursued by the country's banking sector. By leveraging emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and employing technology-driven underwriting processes, banks and financial institutions ought to expand credit access and help the sector contribute over $1 trillion in product exports by 2030. Yes Bank leadership in pioneering digital initiatives to fructify this vision, we have been continuously and very consciously aligning our strategic initiatives with a larger vision of achieving Viksit Bharat by 2047. The bank has been at the forefront of powering digital India with its best-in-class technology, API stack, elevating it to the leadership position in the digital payments. Yes Bank facilities 30% of all the Aadhaar-enabled payment system transactions across the country. We are number one on the payment service provider space. Moreover, the bank has also made large strides in augmenting its digital banking capabilities, launching UPI payments through RuPay credit card, enabling UPI interoperability on the RBI digital rupee, and also holding the distinction of being the first bank in the country to issue an ONDC network gift card to enable new opportunities for the MSME segment. To promote young entrepreneurs and further develop India's startup ecosystem, Yes Bank has also set up a dedicated new age banking team that is geared to meet the banking needs of future unicorns and unicorns. In fact, bank also holds the distinction of being the highest rated Indian bank in 2023 S&P Global Corporate Sustainability Assessment, and has been ranked highest among the 34 large scheduled commercial banks on climate preparedness. We were the first bank to launch first green bond and green fixed deposit, and we are also the first Indian bank to measure and report financed emission of its electricity generation loan exposures. The bank's robust ESG focus and climate-driven governance structure is further exemplified by its commitment to achieve the net zero carbon emission from its operation by 2030. It has also launched a host of financing solutions to promote adoption of renewable energy, electric vehicles, and rooftop solar installation amongst the MSMEs. All the while deepening its penetration in emerging rural market and priority sector lending segments with tailored credit solutions. As we move ahead in India's Amrit Kal, Yes Bank aims to strategically leverage public digital infrastructure and contribute to building Sashakt Bharat through collaborating on key digital initiatives. In a bid to forge a new growth consensus and identify key trends that could accelerate India's forward momentum, Yes Bank and CNBC-TV18, we have come together to delve into this key investment trend that can be positively augmented to channel capital resources towards achieving key developmental outcomes. This will be followed up with similar events in Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Delhi and Hyderabad, with each edition highlighting the host city dominant growth areas and defining their significance in India's larger growth narrative. It is my sincere hope that we could all use this platform to explore India's sectoral strength, identify local business opportunities, and contribute ideas that could propel the Indian economy well past the 10 trillion mark by 2030. Now, this vision of being the third largest economy is largely predicated on a thriving SME and emerging large corporate space, boosted by the flourishing startup ecosystem. This will become the catalyst for a wave of new wealth multiplication for existing HNIs and the ultra HNIs. In fact, according to the projections, the number of HNIs will double in India in next 2 to 3 years. At Yes Bank, we recognize the potential and understand that this wealth creation is contingent on the growth of new and existing businesses whose banking needs evolve with the unique opportunities presented by a resurgent India. It gives me a great delight to announce the launch of our newest market offering that aims to partner HNI business owners as well as C-suite executives at the helm of corporate India in their endeavor to leverage their opportunities on the road towards $10 trillion Indian economy. And we call this offering Yes Private. And our Yes Private program, this has been very thoughtfully curated to complement our retail and wholesale banking offerings in the market. It also integrates the bank's expertise across the spectrum and brings a full stack product suite for HNIs across the family banking, business banking, wealth management, and succession planning. The program also lays out the extraordinary privileges and experiences for clients pertaining to their distinct lifestyle in India and abroad. So, introducing Yes Private.
For some, success is just the beginning, and with the right insights, their wealth can help them reach newer, greater heights. Their path is paved with victories, and with the right partner, each one becomes an opportunity for another. Most define their own pinnacles, but a rare few define it for others. They are the visionaries, the pioneers, the unrelentingly aspirational, and they need a banking partner that knows what it takes to turn their grand vision into reality. Yes Private, A buy invite only, thoughtfully curated suite of superior personal and business banking solutions. With your own wealth studio that delivers personalized investment solutions to empower your wealth management decisions. Differentiated product offerings to match your stature. Exclusive lifestyle privileges. Along with a best-in-class enterprise banking program. And solutions to ensure that your legacy lasts forever. And to bring it all together, a dedicated team which helps you optimize your strategy by harmonizing all our product offerings. Yes Private. Bespoke personal and business banking solutions.
Again, thank you so much for accepting our invitation and be part of a journey towards achieving the $10 trillion economy roadmap. Thank you so much.
Yes Bank and CNBC-TV18 present the Growth Summit Vision for a $10 trillion economy in association with Max Life Insurance.